Okay, hello everyone. We're here on the Animalia Familia page in consciousazine, as you can see on your screen right now. Because today we want to discuss dolphins, and we would be me, and there's Veronica. Veronica has a page in consciousazine.com called Lattice, which she's just starting up, and I've made this Animalia Familia page in the background here, all by myself. So there's a couple of posts on dolphins, and over the years I've found, quite a lot of information's come to me on dolphins, and I'm a surfer. So I've actually surfed with a lot of dolphins, and before we begin I may as well tell a little story. I remember my parents have a yacht. They're boat people. My dad's a bit of a pirate, and we used to go through Moreton Bay and sailing through there and anchoring through there. That's off Brisbane, Australia. And I remember we went to SeaWorld, which is like the south of the Gold Coast, and we anchored off there, and my dad just suddenly disappeared. We went to the beach, and the beach just behind SeaWorld, and my dad's just disappeared for the day because he's a random bastard, and like me a bit. And so I'm there till sunset going, where's my dad? And I'm young, and then he appears back near sunset, and I'm playing with my dog, and he's like, I snuck in through that little door over there to SeaWorld. I'm like, okay. Oh God, I love having you as a father. And anyway, so I think it was the next day I snuck in, because I thought, well, if my dad can do it, I can do it. And so I snuck in, and I remember getting through the security net, and everyone was being dragged to one end of SeaWorld, Gold Coast, for the jet ski show. And so I snuck through this net of security guards, because I was coming out of a late 4D movie. And so I thought, perfect, I'll go visit the dolphin pond, by myself. And so a dolphin actually played fetch with me. One of the dolphins came to me with a bit of concrete, or like a stone. It was actually a bit of concrete. I've still got it. And it was just a little bit of concrete like this. And now I went, oh, okay. I grabbed it off the dolphin and I threw it back in. And it brought the same bit back. And I'm very young at this. I can't remember how old I was, but probably 12 or something like that. No, even younger. I think I was 10 or something. And so at that point I've figured out, oh, dolphins are pretty smart. And it brought the same rock back when there was plenty of rocks down the bottom, so it definitely could differentiate it. And it brought it back, and we played a bit of fetch for a couple of minutes. And then I even patted it and stuff like that. And then I went over to the other pool, and I was playing splash. I splashed the water, and the dolphin squirted me in the face with a bit of water out of its mouth. So these are highly trained dolphins, obviously used to interacting with humans. But I have seen very intelligent behaviour when I'm surfing with them as well. One time, I'm sitting at Cabarita here at the beach, surfing, waiting for a wave, and I mean literally no more than a couple of meters in front of me, launches out this big dolphin towards me, and it's so big, that I really got a fright. I'm like, oh, and it's launched straight at me and sort of just went right next to me back into the water, and I knew it was playing a game with me, so it was having fun with me. Yeah. So anyway, so we're talking about dolphins today, and we're here with Veronica because she also has come across dolphin information, so I thought we'll put it together a video. It's not meant to be some all-encompassing dolphin video, but we're just giving what we have. So while you think of what you want to say, Veronica, I'm just going to show people this page. There's an orangutan learning how to spearfish, by the way, in Borneo. He learnt from the locals how to spearfish. So lucky he didn't learn how to smoke. So let's go down to, there's a couple of, here's an essay by Paul Watson, the captain of the Sea Shepherd, as we all know, fighting the whaling. The Cetacean Brain and Hominid Perceptions of Cetacean Intelligence. And it's quite a large essay, so I'm going to go through this after me and Veronica talk, and Veronica's going to go to bed because it's a bit late there. So look, you can see how big it is, so we'll go through that after. Then there's also a couple of posts down here on dolphins. Dolphins have ability to sense electrical dolphin signals. Or electrical signals, I should have probably just put. It is estimated dolphins use up to 20% of their cerebral capacity, twice that of the humans using only 10%. So that's pretty interesting. And if you go back up to the Paul Watson thing here, the essay by Paul Watson, the captain of the Sea Shepherd, you can see there they actually have 3 hemispheres. Like it says in here. Anyway, I'll read that out after, maybe, because it's pretty long. I might just summarize what it's about. I might read through it and then just summarize it. So yeah, look, you can see several links for that dolphin post. For that dolphin pardon me. For that dolphin post there, you can see several links there. Then there's also this post some people might have seen. Dolphin helps save dog from drowning. And yeah, that actually happened in Florida on Marco Island. And then I've also put in brackets, dolphin sonar is 4 times better than any human sonar, and they did not invent it, they developed it naturally, so perhaps humans are more concerned with having than being. And I took that from that latest movie, Lucy. And yeah, so you can see they're pretty smart. It saved a dog from drowning. So that's showing empathy and stuff too. So, or what we might call higher emotionalism, where a lot of people might think that higher emotionalism is just a facet of the human ability. So this kind of shows me, no, definitely not. So anyway, let's cross to Veronica and see what she has to say. What do you want to add to this? Because I discovered, like you said the other day, a while ago, that not only is dolphin sonar apparently 4 times better than human sonar, but I also discovered that they can make minute positive cell changes, so for cancer patients and stuff. So anyway, I'll hand it over to Veronica. So yeah.
Yes, I always was curious about them and the permanent smile. If you take a look, they are very attractive for us. Yes, of course, but if you have to see more scientifically, we have to first to see that they have the brain, it is bigger than ours, than the human brain, and very more complex too. And they are always emitting focused ultrasonic vibrations. They can emit a burst and with the sonar, of course, and they are reflecting objects, of course, when returns back. So we can suppose for that they can see us inside, you know? And of course, well, the people, it is with the dolphins, they are always talking about a kind of euphoria or euphoric experience.
Yeah.
And they can make important and significant changes in the patients. And there is something called dolphin therapy. I don't know if you hear about that.
No, not really.
Yeah. Okay, because when they produce this kind of sonar and they are looking at the patients in pools, what they are looking is inside the person. They place a lot with, even more with the little kills there, and they are making in the person as something called biophilia. The biophilia is a kind of attachment to life, to happiness, to joy, and acceptance. So they are producing all the time this to you. And of course, as they use this sonar, they have produced alpha waves. Of course, they can awaken you that your both hemispheres of your brain could be very more balanced and healthy. Okay, they work a lot with kids with cancer in many places, and because if you can create all the time a kind of biochemistry of happiness, you can heal yourself quickly and fast.
Yeah.
And also the people have accidents and they have to or need a recovery. So they are like a gift of nature for us. And all the time I said, if they were not in the sea, they will be the masters of our world too. Yes, of course, because I suppose, I am very sure that they are even super, super smart.
Yeah.
And also science said that they can understand our language and learn our language.
Yes.
It's very important.
Can I stop you for 1 second?
I don't know. Okay.
Because I have a quote of that. I just realised on the top of this page it actually says here, it is of interest to note that while some dolphins are reported to have learned English, up to 50 words used in correct context, which means that really that means to me that, you know, they're understanding it, you know. They're not just mimicking it, they're somehow understanding it. No human being has reported to have learned Dolphinese, and Carl Sagan said that. So yeah, continue on.
The point is, they are all the time giving a stimulation of our nervous system. And you know what all means to allow our ganglia system, and so we become more healthy and more happy, and we can create new chains of neuropeptides. I hope that word exists in English.
Yeah.
That is neuropeptides. Okay.
Pardon me.
And so they really can see inside us. They can really understand our language.
Yeah.
They can really are truly healers. And again, a kind of gift of nature for us.
Yeah, definitely.
This is the most important for me of them.
Yeah.
You are fully of joy when you are around them. As I said before, the permanent smile.
Yeah, they do, eh?
Makes you smile. We mimic them.
Yeah, they so do.
Mimic us.
Yeah.
We mimic them.
You know what else I want to add, while you think of anything else that you've come across? You know, there's this tribe, I forget, this African tribe, Django people, no, I'm probably way off, I can't remember the tribe's name, but they actually had connection with the star Sirius, and this was like 5,000 years ago, and there's paint drawings and stuff in caves or something. I've forgotten what these people are called, but you know, that's got connection with, apparently there's a race of humanoid dolphins around a planet from around Sirius. Now, the first thing to note is that's not now, that's a future resonance, and you know, we've entered the maximum novelty domain, so we will be not only creating animals by 2040, say people like Ray Kurzweil, but that means we'll be mixing animals and creating new animals. So it's obviously real that there will be a humanoid dolphin race. I mean, it seems very uber abundantly obvious to me that, you know, us smart people could mix with those smart dolphins. And 1 second, the recording's going to cut out. Okay, we're back. So I'll just quickly finish saying what I was saying, even though I pretty much said it already. You know, we've entered what's called maximum novelty domain. You'd put that in quotes with a reference of Terence McKenna. So look into that if you don't understand it, but it basically means the eschaton, from the idea of eschatology, or the idea embedded in most religions that there's an end times, like an apocalyptic scenario, which is what we're in now. And apocalypse means uncovering in Greek. It doesn't mean fire and brimstone, it means uncovering. So that's why we've got all these very strongly written things like this Paul Watson essay, like my work in general. We're apocalypting stuff. Like that Organic Portals article that I've shown some people, and I'll make a standalone video on Organic Portals. Like that Organic Portal article said, all the esoteric has to come to the surface now because it's the apocalypse. So people like Ray Kurzweil, the co-director of Singularity University, say, by 2040 or something like that, just this century, we're going to be able to make animals. Now, if you talk to a, what do we call them? I'm not sure, I've forgotten their title, but people talk about, like Ralph Merkel or something is his name. They talk about how we'll get atom machines, we'll make things out of atoms. Yeah, not just make things out of like 3D printing and cells, but we'll go even lower. They're already printing organs. I can get a heart printed, I can get a liver printed, and they can function. They're already doing this. So what Ray Kurzweil is saying is that we'll eventually be making animals. The kids of tomorrow, maybe even your daughter Veronica, who's like 12, she might be, when she's maybe your age, making animals. She might be able to go into university and create an animal. Now, so it's clear to me that all these alien visions, and I said this in my video, Alien Basis, full, if you search that on YouTube, that there's no physical pro bono proctologists from Zenebel Canusi and 1,000-ton beryllium ships, physical alienoids, yet we're the height of complexity. And you have to understand this time wave that Terence McKenna brought forth. And it makes it obvious, and it brings the cosmic drama back to us. I didn't say it makes us the center of the universe, physical locale, but it makes us the center of the universe of the cosmic drama. And this is very important when you look at the state of Earth, because look at this place. The Christians have turned it into hell by thinking that there's hell somewhere else. Things like that. So it's all relative, and we'll end up making animals, we'll end up fixing the environment, and and we'll work in unison with dolphins, I'm sure. And what I'm about to read will even more concrete that notion that will work with dolphins. I'll read you part of the essay from Paul Watson's essay in a second, a couple of paragraphs, and you can visit the Animalia Familia page if you want to read the rest of the Paul Watson essay. But yeah, so in all these future identities, what people see in their third eye is visions. Like they say, no, Ben, there's a race of half dolphin people who live around a planet orbiting one of the Sirius stars, Sirius A. And I say, okay, but that's not right now. I guarantee it's not right now. It's future identities re-entering timelines or future resonances. That's why you have to understand the time wave that Terence McKenna shows you. He shows you how historical periods are in resonance with each other. For instance, I suspect I'm in resonance with McKenna himself. I don't know, because I don't have the software. But that's how it works. People are in resonance with each other. Notice he's dead now and I'm alive now. Now, historical periods are in resonance with each other, and these visions are all resonances, re-entering timelines, so to speak. And we're not going to go further into that because this is not that video. So let me read to to concrete that idea of that we will work with dolphins, and that one day there will be half humanoid, half dolphin sort of humanoid people things. So let's just read from this essay, because I think he makes a couple of really good points. I'll just remove you from the screen. He makes a couple of really good points in these few paragraphs alone. Astronomers devoted to SETI, search for extraterrestrial intelligence, keep our collective inquisitive ears tuned for signs of sentience from space. At the same time, Satologists observe, document and decipher evidence that points to a profound intelligence dwelling in the oceans. It is an intelligence that predates our own evolution as intelligent primates by millions of years. And I thought that was a very good point. You know, the dolphin's intelligence predates our own intelligence by millions of years. That's a long time. So some people would say that they're more intelligent than us, and we just don't realize it yet, and it makes sense. Because if you're at a point of non-understanding, of course you can't understand, you know what I mean? If you're dumber than something else, well, you're dumber than something else, and you can't understand it, or it takes a while to understand it. So in other words, they're complexity knots. Or they might be more complex than us. Furthermore, it is an intelligence that may prove to be far superior to us in terms of complex, associative, linguistic, and survival abilities. Dr. John Ford's patient monitoring of the speech of orcas off British Columbia has revealed distinctive dialects between orca populations. Dialects. So distinctive that it is possible to link a captive animal of unknown origin with its long-lost family in the wild. So, in other words, their language has dialects like human language. Like English or Spanish, they're dialects. In the cold waters off Patagonia, Dr. Roger Payne thrilled the world with his recordings of the songs of the humpback whale. Behind the aesthetic value of whale music, Payne's research has revealed fascinating insights into the complex and highly sophisticated language of whales. Now I'm going to skip some of this paragraph. A few brilliant researchers have even been accused of losing their scientific objectivity, simply because their study of cetaceans revealed knowledge about themselves. You see, wrote Dr. John Lilly, what I found after 12 years of work with dolphins is that the limits are not in them, the limits are in us. So I had to go away and find out, who am I? What's this all about? Dr. Paul Sponge, who came to the study of cetology as a psychologist, found himself transformed into a devout advocate of dolphin freedom. I came to the realization, says Sponge, that at the same time I was manipulating their orca behavior, they were manipulating my behavior. So there's the words of a psychologist. At the same time I was studying them and performing experiments on them, they were studying me and performing experiments on me. Both men have taken to heart an advice eloquently expressed by novelist Edward Abbey, that it's not enough to understand the natural world, the point is to defend and preserve it. Other scientists have told me, Paul Watson, that they understand this effect that cetaceans have on people and resist the tendency to become involved with their subjects only from fear of ridicule from other scientists. Knowing something is so does not mean that others will accept it. Knowing something is so does not mean that others will accept it or even be open-minded enough to ponder it. Some things are just not on the table for serious scientific debate, and the idea that humans are subordinate in intelligence to another species is one of them, indeed. Ingrained in anthropocentric attitudes, dismiss the very idea that a dolphin or whale could be as intelligent as a human being, or more. In this respect, science is dogmatic and intransigent, differing little in attitude from the papal pronouncement that the Earth could not possibly revolve around the Sun. So intransigent means unwilling or refusing to change one's view about something. So yeah, I agree. There's this, and I've talked about this many times, there's something called scientific reductionism, and it's like a place of rigidness in science where people are unwilling to accept in new information for some reason, if it has no empirical bases of existence currently. So if there's nothing about it, it's like they have a hard time accepting it in. So I definitely agree with that, and science can be quite dogmatic in that way, in a reductionistic manner. Now lastly, human imagination can instantly recognize intelligence in a blob of purple protoplasm or an insectoid extraterrestrial if it steps from a spaceship dressed in a metallic suit and armed with a fantastic proton plasmodic negative charged ionic cell destabilizer blaster. Dolphins, on the other hand, just eat fish. But that is not just a measure of intelligence, and I read that out in my Alien Basis video. A measure of intelligence is not just technology. How loving you are, empathy, higher emotionalism, some of these things that are displayed by dolphins are also markers of intelligence. So anyway, I just wanted to add that, and Veronica's got more to say, believe it or not. We're full of it. So, yeah, what else did you want to add again?
Okay, some of the things that I was talking to you the other day when we were talking about the dolphins is that I give a class, a meditation class that includes dolphins therapy. And
nice.
In that class, the point is that not everyone is near dolphins. We're so lucky to have dolphins in the city. So years ago, I take a class of California waters. California waters, maybe nobody knows much about that, but it is like the floral of Bach, you know what I mean? Or floral of Bush. It is the same system, but creating a kind of water, an elixir.
Elixir.
A dolphin elixir.
Yep.
Elixir. Okay. And in this class, we recorded the water that the students have with the Emoto method.
Oh, yep.
Okay. And this Japanese doctor that claims that words and sound and thought can imprint in the water,
yep.
a kind of influence. And you know the shape crystals in water and all
yep.
that. And with the sonar of the dolphins and the Emoto method, we can record the water with the alpha waves that they produce. So you can have
yes.
an elixir that stimulates the nervous system and create a balance in you.
Yes, definitely. So you're you're restructuring the dimensional bed via the dolphin restructuring the water. And I can chime in here before the recording cuts out 30 seconds from now. We'll come back. But that's a very good thing, and that's not pseudoscience, because I read years ago on physorg.com that water has a dance of something like 16 billion changes per second or something. Some crazy amount that water's molecules are changing. Okay, so as I was saying, but I'll reiterate, I once read years ago that water does some sort of, I think it was an atomic dance. I can't remember if it was atomic or molecular, and I think it was atomic. And it's something like 6 billion, not million. Sorry if I said million before, but it was billion. Something like 6 billion or 60 billion or 16 billion times per second. It's changing position and stuff. So it makes sense that you can impregnate water with stuff as well, because people, not only Dr. Emoto's work, but people have found water retains information. And as soon as you add anything to water, it's like, some people say it's not water anymore, but yeah, it retains information. But so yeah, you definitely can impregnate water with vibrations and stuff. Like, I noticed the difference in drinking out of a plastic bottle as compared to drinking out of a glass bottle. I get much more of a zing out of the glass bottle filled with water. So I mean, I notice it. Unscientifically, I just, I feel the difference. So yeah, it definitely makes sense that, so what Veronica's doing is playing dolphin sounds into the water, and then people are taking that as an elixir. So in other words, you're changing your vibration of your body and stuff. So it's like vibrational sound healing put into an elixir. I like the idea. That's a pretty cool idea, Veronica. And what else was I going to say? Oh yeah, and I've got this idea that water's like a fifth dimensional correlate. So it somehow is a fifth dimensional correlate. This idea's been with me for a long time, but I can't seem to articulate it much better than saying how. Well, by the way that the fifth dimension is like membranic. It's like a membrane of living light energy. So water is like this living membrane thing as well. So it's like some sort of fifth dimensional correlate thing, I call it. So I thought I'd just add that in. Anyway, just before Veronica goes on, I wanted to say, oh no, actually, you go on first, Veronica. Is there anything else you wanted to say?
No, I don't remember when we finished the last time, but I was telling you, that in my class we make a guided meditation with the sonar of the dolphins, and we recorded the water through the speakers.
Yeah.
Okay. As I told you before, with the Emoto method, no?
Mm-hmm.
So we recorded with alpha waves to produce an elixir that will help, special the major chakras. Yes.
Nice.
To have an optimal brain functioning.
Yeah.
And balance. Okay, this is what we are doing here.
Yeah.
And my students love that class. They come many times, and after, when they go to the houses, they create their own dolphin elixirs.
Cool. Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, I mean, we've covered quite a lot. Do you want to say anything else? Is there anything else you can think of?
Maybe my own experience with the drops of elixir, of dolphin elixir. I keep my mind more focused, and I am more creative when I have to create a new meditation. You know that I don't like to do the same that everybody does everywhere in meditation. I want to create my own stuff.
Yeah.
And I am very, very creative when I am taking the drops of dolphins elixir. And also my students, when they have exams and all that stuff, they take a lot and ask, Veronica, when we are going to do that meditation again. And for me, I can say that I feel much more creative and much more healthy in these days about the balance. And I feel more in meditation because, remember, the sonar with alpha waves are in the water.
Yeah.
So all the times the dolphins are in our state of meditation. They are all the time in us.
Yeah. Yeah, that's interesting. So you say that dolphins are in alpha wave a lot, alpha brainwave.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
I didn't know that. I haven't. Did you research that or?
They stimulate that. Yes. And produce biophilia, as I told you before.
Oh, okay.
The attachment to life, joy, and all that.
Yeah. Yeah, they're very joyful, aren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah. That goes with what I'll end with, I guess. Here, what Paul Watson's saying as well. It's in down here too. We willingly accept the idea of intelligence in a life form only if the intelligence displayed is on the same evolutionary wavelength as our own. Technology automatically indicates intelligence. An absence of technology translates into an absence of intelligence. Yeah, I think that's stupid as well, Paul. Dolphins and whales do not display intelligence in a fashion recognizable to this conditioned perception of what intelligence is, and thus, for the most part, we are blind to a broader definition of what intelligence can be. This is Paul talking, I have observed whales and dolphins in the wild for 50 years, seeing varied and complex behavior that has displayed a definite pattern of sophisticated social interactions. They have exhibited discriminatory behavior in their dealings with us, treating us not like seals fit for prey, but as curious objects to be observed and to be treated with caution. They can see beyond to the manifest technological power that we have harnessed, and they can adjust their behavior accordingly. It is a fact that there has never been a documented attack by a wild orca on a human being. Perhaps they like us. More likely they know what we are. Oh, I didn't know that. I thought... So he's saying that there's never been an attack of orca on a human. That's interesting if that's true. He's saying that's true. The interpretation of behavior remains subject to the bias of the observer. One observer can classify behavior as intelligent, and a second observer will dismiss the same behavior as instinctive. There is also the tendency to be anthropomorphic, to attribute human feelings and motives to the behavior of non-humans. Until we can actually talk with a non-human, it is difficult, if not impossible, to do anything but speculate on what is being thought or perceived. We cannot even understand with any certainty what a human being from a different culture speaking a different language may be thinking or perceiving. Even among people of our own culture, language, class, or academic standing, it is a formidable task to peer inside the workings of the brain. Well, not for people like me, because that's what telepathy is. In this respect, all brains other than our own are alien, and I might venture to add that the inner workings of our individual brains are still a mystery to each of us that possesses one. Yeah, there's many mysteries in the brain, and telepathy is seeing meaning, not just exactly another person's exact thought. That's why I said that before. I see people's meaning quite reasonably well, at least. Anyway, it is a great tragedy for our development as a species that we have been alone among hominids for the last 30,000 years, or Homo sapiens. Imagine Homo neanderthalensis, or the Neanderthals, existing today as a separate intelligent species of hominid primate. Our perception of the nature of intelligence would be profoundly different. Yeah, it would be a little different. Homo neanderthals are an example of a species that possessed both technology and media communication. This toolmaker created haunting images of its experiences and environment. Some Neanderthal tools, artifacts, and cave art from Chatelapronian period have survived and remind us that we are not the only species capable of material artistic expression. Neanderthal ivory bone carvings were used for adornment, bit off topic. Here we go. We perceive reality based on how we preconceive it, or, like you said before, conditioned. In other words, we see what we want to see. Let's take a close look at the anatomy of the brain. This is an organ that the human organism shares with most species above the invertebrate order. More specifically, we should look at the mammalian brain. That is an organ composed of 3 distinct structures, and he goes on, and we're not going to go into that. Oh look, he even mentions the reptilian or ancient brain. But yeah. So yeah, you guys can read further into this article. Sorry, I was just reading to see if there was anything else I wanted to add. But yeah, let's end it there. We've gone over some things, and everyone can go to this page to read the rest of Paul Watson's essay here. And yeah, let's look at this picture quickly. It's a shark and a human. This is the most dangerous animal in the world, responsible for millions of deaths every year. By his side, we can see a white shark swimming peacefully. So this is Benjamin and Veronica from www.consciousazine.com, and we both hope that we can help change the perception of, I don't know, what we view intelligence as, and also, see our, as I've named this page, Animalia Familia. And let's go back up to the top of this page quickly. It's an empirical fact. The unity of life is an empirical fact. And you can read that. The 3-letter words of the genetic code are the same in every creature. CGA means arginine, and GCG means alanine. In bats, in beetles, in beech trees, in bacteria. They even mean the same in the archaeobacteria living at boiling temperatures in sulfurous springs thousands of feet beneath the surface of the Atlantic Ocean, or in those microscopic capsules of Devotionous called viruses. All life is one. Seaweed is your distant cousin, and anthrax one of your advanced relatives. By Matt Ridley. So yeah, you know, me and Veronica are hoping that this will inform some people, and for other people make you just think outside the box a little. So, do you have anything to add to that, Veronica? Or?
No, I think it is all correct, and the reading was very good, informative.
And I think that we need to look at ourselves a bit differently, and not just look at the intelligence, measure it in technology, and how are we treating other animals, because some of these other animals could possibly be looking at us as pretty primitive, you know, the way we treat them. So. And one day we'll find out about that. I prognosticate and predict that right now. When we do translate, you know, the vocals of a dolphin or a monkey into English, oh boy, will we hear about it.
I need it.
Yeah, and we'll need it, that's for sure. Okay, thanks everyone. This is Ben and Veronica from consciousazine.com. Enjoy. What can I say? I'm hard to satisfy. So while I thank Veronica for her input, and I think we've already covered quite a lot, I was not satisfied. So I just wanted to keep going. I just wanted to see what more was out there, since I haven't researched dolphins for like 2 years. Pardon me. So I thought I will have another look and see what else like I've missed, and see what else, if there's anything new. So that's what we're doing right now, because, as Mr. Bob Marley says, lots of signs. Anyway, so MRI scans indicate that these marine mammals are self-aware. Researchers think dolphins are especially vulnerable to suffering and trauma. And yeah, I forgot to mention, cooperative dolphins help fishermen catch fish. Let's see. Let's see if this is what I remember it being. I remember they herd the fish towards the shore, and then the fishermen can catch them in their nets easier. Yep. So yeah, that's pretty cool. Look into that if you're interested. The dolphins helping the people catch fish. Okay, that's enough out of that one. The more we study dolphins, the brighter they turn out to be. The brain of an adult dolphin is about 25% heavier, which doesn't really mean much. It's how much you use your brain, isn't it? Use it or lose it, says neuroscience. Kelly has taken this task one step further. When people drop paper into the water, she hides it under a rock at the bottom of the pool. The next time a trainer passes, she goes down to the rock and tears off a piece of paper to give to the trainer. After a fish reward, she goes back down, tears off another piece of paper, gets another fish, and so on. Yeah, they definitely know what they're doing. Yeah, also crows are very intelligent. I know about this. Crows use tools. If you didn't know, they're using tools, like they'll use a stick to get at a grub, all this kind of thing. So this one says rooks rival chimpanzees in their ability to use tools. Interesting. Rare dolphin spits to catch its prey. Oh, I haven't heard about that. So yeah, this is something I would like to comment on. Intelligence is a term with many definitions and interpretations. So I'm not going to read all that, but now I call intelligence, and people, how do we differentiate from smart, intelligence, witty, etc.? Well, for me, intelligence, if you're intelligent, you're an intel agent. It means you can see into things. Intel agent. So, the universe is naturally intelligent, obviously because light is information and the universe is made of light. So, how much can you see into something? That's my measure of intelligence. So you can see that I'm pretty intelligent because I can see into things. I can read between lines. Now that's definition of intelligence to me. Some people might begin to say that's genius, when you can see into things, and that's intuitive and so on. And it's got to do with the higher centers. So yeah, no doubt, animals have chakras too. Oh, an Australian dolphin. A rare species of Australian dolphin has been found to catch its prey by spitting water. Interesting. So they round up fish they have chased to the surface by firing jets of water from their mouths. And we all know they also release bubbles in circles around a school of fish to sort of bunch up the fish, then they'll go ramming through them. And we've learnt that from David Attenborough's videos. Hey David Attenborough. The snubfin dolphin, or Celia hansoni, was discovered in 2005. Interesting. Okay, here's another article from dolphinresearch.org.au. That's Australian. Bottlenose. Sight. The bottlenose dolphin's eye is very good at quickly detecting moving objects. The eye has evolved to give them a faster projection of a larger image, as well as large nerve fibers to rapidly send the information to the brain. The bottlenose dolphin has a visual range of 180 forwards, backwards and to the side, but it cannot see up. This is often why we see dolphins chasing fish belly side up. Taste. Dolphins have some ability to taste and are able to detect the 4 basic stimuli: sweet, sour, bitter and salt. It is thought that taste buds are like chemoreception system that can be used for locating other dolphins, finding food, orientation, reproduction and stress sensitivity. Okay. Touch. A dolphin is able to sense the water's movement over its body to use to its own advantage. And we don't know how yet. Might have something to do with those electrical things on the front of the nose. Yeah, they produce high frequency whistles, clicks and squeaks. So notice that's different noises. It's not just all in squeaks, or it's not just all in whistles, or not all in clicks. So that means they've got syllables and stuff in their language. I would like to know the syntax of the dolphin language and the semantics too, actually. Be very interesting to find out. Okay. Let's have a look on Wikipedia. Complex play. Let's skip down there. Yeah, dolphins are known to engage in complex play behaviour, which includes such things as producing stable underwater toroidal air, core vortex rings or bubble rings like I just mentioned. But that's not just play, it's for feeding, as David Attenborough's videos have showed us. Cross-species cooperation, yeah, now really that's got to be some kind of sign of intelligence, you know, like we just saw they help fishermen fish. There have been instances in captivity of various species of dolphin and porpoise helping and interacting across species, including helping beached whales. Also, they have been known to live alongside resident fish-eating orca whales for limited times. Dolphins have also been known to aid human swimmers in need, and as we saw, saving that dog in Florida there. And at least one instance, a distressed dolphin approached human divers seeking assistance. That's right, I've seen that video. We should try and find that one. A lot of people might not have seen it. Oh, where is it? Here we go. Yeah, there's a dolphin underwater and he keeps circling the diver to remove the fishing line. So, I mean, this is pretty intelligent behaviour, you know, and fearless too. Notice they're not just a fear animal going off sense-stored electrici. Now, that's why I think there's something beyond sense-stored electrical unconsciousness. In other words, they have consciousness. They're not just unconscious automata creation. And as far as I know, that means you could really say they are the humans of the sea, indeed. Because, yeah, this is the video. Yeah, they seem to display behaviour to me which goes beyond just sense-stored electrical behaviour or unconscious behaviour. Where is the scene? Let's show the scene. So yeah, he's just swimming around and he's trying to get the divers to remove the fishing line attached to him. And he actually goes up to the divers. Only got a couple of minutes left on the screencast here, so I'm going to have to fast forward this. See, Wikipedia is not always just bullcrap. I always check Wikipedia. And I'm not allowed to use it for a source at university, but hey, it always contains something good. Yeah, here we are. Yeah, he seemed to linger around the divers, and look, just letting him take it off. He knows well that the guy's working on him. Oh, that's neat. Yeah.